Hey, this is Seth, and in this video, I want to share with you a cool and unique side hustle with one of the lowest barriers for entry I've ever seen. In fact, to do this side hustle, all you need is to be able to speak English fluently and enjoy speaking with other people. And you can make between $20 and $35 an hour or more, all remotely on your own schedule. I'm not talking about being an English teacher, which can often require certification, like having a TEFL or ESL certificate, or lesson plans, or things like that. This is actually much easier, and you may not have heard of it. So in this video, I want to share what this side hustle is and how you can maximize your profits doing this and position yourself in a way that earns you the most clients and the most potential for earnings. But before I do that, please remember, if you like this content, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you're always notified when I post more useful content. This side hustle is being an English language conversationalist. That's right, you can get paid simply to have conversations with people who are learning English. Now, whatever side hustle you choose, you need to think like a marketer. You need to understand your customer or your client so that you can best serve their needs, stand out, and earn their business and deliver a quality product or service so that you get more business. Now, I want to give you some context about the English language you may have never thought about as a native speaker. English is the most popular language on the planet, but it's also the most profitable and business-oriented language on the planet. All of the most affluent countries in the world mostly speak English. The biggest companies in the world are English-speaking countries. And people learn English not just as a hobby, but as something to improve their quality of life. People often want to improve their English to advance in their career or to expand the reach of their business. For example, I work on Fiverr.com all the time. I've hired so many freelancers from other countries. I've worked with people from Colombia, from Macedonia, from India. And these folks, for most of them, English is their second language. Now, if they only spoke their local language, we never would have done business. But because they learned English, they now have access to the English-speaking market, which is hundreds of millions of people. So this is just a little bit of context to understand the power of being able to fluently and naturally speak English and why people would want to talk to you. Now, I know you might be thinking, I don't know how to teach English. I just speak it and I know how to understand it. That is enough. The act of having a conversation with a native speaker is so valuable for people. You have been practicing for this your entire life if you speak English. You know how to comprehend English. You don't even think about the words you're saying before you say them. Even when I'm doing this video, it's just the words are just coming out of my mouth because I've been speaking English for so long. And for someone who's learning a new language, interfacing with someone who has that level of comprehension is so valuable. You also have unconscious access to things like idioms and slangs and the way people phrase things. You will naturally hear mistakes being made by people who are not native speakers and be able to gently correct those things. My girlfriend is Hungarian and she speaks great English. Part of that is because she listened to a lot of YouTube as she was growing up. However, she still occasionally will mispronounce or misuse a word, and I naturally correct her. I don't yell at her about it. I'm very kind and gentle and supportive, and that's the way you want to be when you're talking with people, but it happens very, very naturally. So I'm saying is you don't need any formal training in how to do this if you speak English as a native speaker or very fluently. So how do you find people that are willing to pay to have conversations with you in English? There are two main marketplaces for language conversation and instruction, and a third marketplace that is not usually associated with language teaching, but it's actually a place where you can make more money and stand out and I think do better when you're beginning this side hustle. The first two platforms are italki and Preply. And these platforms are great. They get millions of visitors every month. You can set up a profile for yourself as an English conversationalist. Now on Preply, you don't need to provide any type of certification. On italki, you're going to be designated as a community tutor because they do have certified teachers on that platform. You're a community tutor if you do not have a TEFL certificate or anything like that. But it takes more than just setting up a profile to actually get customers. And one of the things I've noticed on both Preply and italki is that most of these folks don't know anything about marketing. Every single profile, take a look at the results here. They almost look exactly the same. There's a photo of the person and the person puts their name and they say, I'm so-and-so, I teach English, or I've been teaching for 10 years, or I have this certificate, me. And every single profile pretty much blends together. So this is where I want to teach you to think like a marketer. Now I want to jump over to a totally different platform right now, which is Fiverr.com. You've heard me mention Fiverr many times. This platform is a great place for freelancers because they really know how to sell freelancing services. And there are some great examples I want to show you about how people are positioning themselves on this platform versus italki or Preply. So here are some examples. Kate charges about $35 an hour with a relatively new profile. Carrie charges $25 for 45 minutes, which is about $33 an hour. And again, these profiles don't have that many reviews yet. These are relatively new, and yet they're making more money than some people on italki or Preply who've been there for a longer time. Here is another example of how you can position yourself more uniquely. This gentleman is doing incredibly well. He's actually charging more money than anybody else I've seen. He has found a niche within a niche. He is not just doing English conversation, he is focusing on accent reduction. When you look at the amount of orders that this guy has and the prices he's charging, it gives you some market information, which is the fact that people really want help with accent reduction. Now, don't say that you're an accent reduction specialist. What I would do is take this information and say, hey, this is probably something people are thinking about or concerned about. So in your headline or in your description, talk about how having conversations with a native speaker will naturally reduce a person's accent and how you can make corrections to what they're saying in such a way that is going to help reduce their accent. You could also go online and Google exercises people can do to help reduce their accent and include those in your package. Again, this is not something that needs certification. It's more of, positioning yourself as a specialist. Again, I wouldn't say you have years of experience doing this. That's not true, but positioning yourself in such a way, and it's true, like I said, when my girlfriend who's Hungarian, when we hang out for weeks at a time, her accent gets less and less. Then when she hangs out with all her friends from her hometown for a few days, her accent comes back, and then she hangs out with me, and it changes based on who you're hanging out with. So this is just another way of using marketing to position yourself intelligently and be more compelling to your customers. Do you fear being judged or criticized when you try to speak English? Do you understand English but you hesitate to actually speak the words? Do you want a friend that you can talk to and feel safe and get support while you're trying to figure out this new skill? Now, you can take this knowledge and use it for your profile on italki or Preply, and it will make your profile stand out even if you are just beginning, because remember, go back and everybody else over there is doing the same thing. So there you have it, guys. Your ability to speak English is a great skill set that you can be paid to do, and these are some of the resources and options available. Now, you've heard me mention marketing throughout this video, and that's actually the main thing that I teach. I teach people how to get remote jobs in digital marketing, which is a $600 billion industry. And there are many, many in-demand jobs doing paid advertising, SEO, all these different skill sets that most people don't even know exist. And so if you're looking for a high income skill set, whether it's to have a side hustle or a full-time remote job, click the link below to check out my free webinar where I teach you more about this field and marketing, because I say everybody needs marketing, whether you're a dentist, a doctor, a personal trainer, or a beautician. Everybody needs to market their business, and having this skill set is incredibly valuable in addition to whatever other things you are pursuing. If you're looking for a side hustle and you found this video, I think you definitely benefit from this webinar. So to check it out, click that link below, and I know you will find it useful. I hope that you found this informative. I hope it gave you some ideas. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments or questions below. I'd love to hear what you guys thought of the video, and if you've used any of these platforms, you're already having English conversations, definitely feel free to share that as well. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video.